When the Buddha started off with, I don't fight with the world, it is the world that fights with me. Because he discovered the truth of which we look at around us every single day, that who wants to hear things are impermanent? People who are in love right now don't want to hear that.
Right.
People who own material possessions, diamond, gold, and worldly pleasure, they
They
don't
don't
want to
want to
hear
hear
that. They
that.
want to hear some bald headed monk say that all things conditioned are subject to impermanence. They don't want to. They don't want to hear that. It goes against the grain of what they
Hmm.
hold true core conviction and beliefs. That no, this is
Yeah.
mine. I actually had once had a girlfriend that we were having a night, and then like she jumped on top of me, and then like in the most possessive way, she looked at me dead in my eyes and she says, "Mine." Like to me, like so, like, it means that I am hers. Well, I get it, but in those moments, I was like, oh wow, this is really like demon possession like type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a lot of people don't want to lose what is theirs. We also work this one case. We work a lot of cases where the wife doesn't want the husband know about immigration stuff, or they're trying to do things for their family. They didn't want to keep the other. I don't know. People live very complicated life that is, they don't trust each other. I don't know. But the guy, thought that the girl was gonna leave him or find ways to leave him or digging in too much, investigating. The guy ended up going to the office and making a big fuss out of it. And um, in her case, it involves FBI background checks. It involves things that digs into other people's lives. And the guy was like at the office and he was just flipping out, because it was no longer under his control. The girl was asking for help in the social work arena, of gathering information for her to do whatever it is that she wanted to do, and the guy felt like there was a loss of control. He's losing his wife or just whatever's going on. Um,
Well,
People don't want to hear that things are unsatisfactory,
right.
and the things are not always going to be satisfying all the time. These are really difficult pills to swallow.
Mm.
Like today when I met with my student, and when we all got up, and it was a very heavy talk about karma, causes and conditions, just all the things that we've talked through. And the student was like, "It was a good talk," and in my heart, it indeed was a good talk. But I responded, and as I got up and I looked at the student, I says, "It was a difficult talk.
Mm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
it was difficult to
Mm.
want to understand, for you to understand, but." The weight of the way I responded was because I felt how heavy it was even for me to even hear. When I say things out of my mouth, I too have to hear it and internalize it back into my heart. It's like recycling back into my heart so that I know that I'm saying
True.
the right thing. I can't just be like shooting
Mm.
bows and arrows of truth and then it doesn't apply even to me. Not putting myself in the student's shoes, especially given, I mean, very sensitive things that's being shared. But I also cannot steer and tell them what they want to hear, but I have to tell the truth of what through the informed lens of the teachings of the Buddha. And I was so blessed when the student left, and they're like, the students, they're like very respectful, and they put their hands together before they leave, and they're like, thank you so much, blah blah blah, and then they left, and I was convinced that I was not going to hear from this student ever again. But as the student left, they sent me text messages, thank you for that talk, da, da, da. And that reassures me that they took it well. But that was not. It was a good talk. Indeed, it was a necessary talk. It was a right speech, but it was a hard one because it spoke about suicide. It spoke about of the past mistakes. It talked about guilt. It's just hell. I could even swallow the own pill that I'm trying to give other people. Nonetheless, them having to swallow that pill, and in the midst of counseling, psychotherapy here, they were like, "Wait, are we talking? Are you talking about me? Or are you talking about?" And I'm like, in general. And I don't ever want to point the finger because it's personalized, and it's not. And the Dhamma is always the teachings of the Dhamma always applies to all. And they so happens to be under the element and constitution of what they did, but other people also do it too, and I also do it too. There's no Dhamma talks that I have given that I felt that it was heavy that I don't include myself in there. I've made these mistakes before. You know, I've done these. You know, I've gotten in trouble and so on and so on. So that humbles everybody to see that the teacher admits that he once went through all of this that you all went through. That's what makes him qualified to teach this stuff. Like I can't say, be like, I'm a saint. I never touched nobody. I nobody. You know, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And I'm going to teach you how to live. No, the Buddha had a son. He had a son. He had all. He had, you know, all these females up in that palace. He was partying. He was living it. All right. What what was 228, 229? Okay, all right. So that was on page 230. And then moving to the first paragraph, right? So are you good with that explanation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so you know, and then later on, or later philosophers after the Buddha, I forgot who it was, Aristotle, Plato, I forgot who it was, but they said, "quote No man is hated more than one who speaks the truth." Right. You know, the other thing is when we expound the truth in Dhamma, teachings of the Buddha, is that other holy men can't make their money because they fool people into their cult. Other supposedly holy men, you know, like not actual holy men. Holy means that you've kept the precept. Holy means that you've kept the 10 Commandments. Holy means that you've really given up everything for the benefit of other people fully. You have let yourself go. You have died to yourself. You have died to yourself a long time ago. When we ask you who you are or offer you $1 million, you would turn it down. Somebody come right now to me, offer me $1 million, I'd be like, what do I do with this? Like, what am I going to buy a Ferrari? For what? For to hear how it turns on, and it'll be broken in like a week because that's the nature of cars. What am I gonna do with $1 million? Buy a diamond? I've already had diamonds. I've already had. I used to sell diamonds.
What am I going to do with possessions?
Right. What am I? What am I gonna do? Go and find 10 hottest strippers in the world and try to get STDs and knock them up and then have kids and create more karma? What am I supposed to do with $1 million? If I have $1 million right now, I would formulate a nonprofit.
We give it away.
But what? Put 10 people to run this thing, but like y'all run it because the FBI is watching, and y'all run it the way how y'all want to run it. Yeah, it's such a headache. So it's like it's not all that. So that's the definition of a holy man. They would never like be greedy and dive into things that get themselves in trouble and see the short term of their life. And yeah, I'm just gonna go party it up because you know I've gotten big and famous and I'm holy and I'm son of God. I'm God myself. You know, whatever they want to say. So anyway, so yeah, we get attacked. We get attacked by other congregation, institution, holy order, whatever. And you know, when you look at you know the Dhamma in specific details, you realize that this is the true path. This is the true path to knowing oneself and full liberation. While others don't want that for you, they want to like tie you. You know, you're like a puppet. Do as we say. Send the money. Give us money.
Send the money.
You know, like Julius, you say, Julius like, yeah, and then they want me to write a check, right?
Yeah, Julius says that. Yeah.
You know, and so that's why, you know, even me and you, Chris, when we talk, that's why I tell you my policy. And I'm like, listen, you know, whatever money is being donated, this is how I do things, you know, publicly, how so transparent about what's happening. Because that's how people get scammed into the religion, the religious world, any worlds. So, anyways, so that just explained a little bit more about you know no man is hated, and eventually you know and the Buddha made that statement so that his bhikkhus, his monks, knows that the world will also be against them. They will not. Monks don't fight with the world. We don't run around in orange trying to like karate kick people. But they try to karate kick us verbally and through emails, through cyber attacks, or whatever. They just don't like the truth, whatever the truth is, whatever they belong. Right? All right. So moving to the first paragraph.